How to start Hotshot in 2024. I know a lot of people don't really actually explain. You're gonna need a good amount of money to start, that's for sure. Besides your equipment, anywhere from like 10 to 15,000 just to have in case stuff happens, because stuff is always gonna happen in the trucking industry. Whether you break down, that could be a couple grand. Whether you have like 2-3 bad weeks back to back, which happens a lot. So things to keep in mind, but obviously, if you prepare beforehand, have the money, then you should be good. So this is just stuff I would recommend before you get started. Have that 10 to 15,000. Have a good credit card with a good limit. Fuel card. If you're under the age of 23, insurance is going to be super expensive. So if you know somebody that's able to be a policy holder, like older, and then you be the driver, that might cause the policy to drop a little bit in price, so you'll save some money. I mean, if you have over 2-3 accidents at fault, your insurance is going to be a lot. So your best option might be just driving for a company for now until those accidents get erased. Those accidents get erased after 5 years. So if you're on the third year, maybe drive for 2 years, whatever. Now the first things, obviously, you're going to need an LLC. A name of the business. What I do recommend is don't name your business, don't have these words, which are going to be trucking, logistics, 18-wheeler, transport, stuff like that, because it kind of limits you on how much when you go to the bank and you want to get a loan. Because a lot of the times banks are hesitant to lend to trucking companies because most trucking companies are in business after 2 years. So that's one of the main reasons why. So if you actually have plans to do other stuff, I would recommend you to look for a different type of name for your business. Something more diverse that you can use. I'm not really going to give you an example, but just look at the bigger companies. Like look at C.H. Robinson. That's a name that you can use for different things. You know what I'm saying? You can't just use it for trucking. You can use it for other stuff. Maybe real estate, e-commerce. You can make a brand, like anything. You know what I mean? So that's one way to keep in mind. Amazon's another one. You see their online store, and they also have their own trucks. So that's one thing they can do as well. So keep that in mind for sure. Don't use your last name. Like, don't put your last name in the name unless you have like a unique name where you might be able to pull it off, but most people don't. Like, for instance, mine's Jimenez. Like, yeah, wouldn't make sense for me to do that. After you make your LLC, you're gonna get your EIN. That's super easy to get. You can get it on the IRS website. Weekdays. I know you can't get it like late at night, so just make sure you just look at it. It's free to get, super easy to get. And then bank account. What I would recommend you to get, one bank I would recommend you to get is Bank of America. They're really good. And for your LLC, you should be able to file it through your Secretary of State in Texas. It's called Texas SOS. Super easy to file. You can look it up online. You don't have to pay anybody. Super easy. But if you don't want to do it, then just go online, look for a LLC thing where they can make it for you and get that done. Next, you're going to apply for your DOT and MC number. This is super easy to get. You can go online as well and get it. You don't have to pay. It's $300 to get your authority. Your DOT number, after anywhere from like 7 to 21 days, you should get your PIN. And after you get your PIN, they also send you your MC number, so you should be getting that as well. And again, you can pay somebody or you can just do it yourself. I would recommend you do it yourself. It's not that hard. Just look it up on YouTube how to do it. Super simple. Next, for you, in order to get active, you're going to need to get insurance. Insurance, you're going to need the $1 million commercial liability and 100K cargo, just because most brokers require this. What I recommend you as well to get is get the $1,000 deductible. Don't get the $2,500. $1,000 deductible is better because if something happens, you just have to pay $1,000 instead of the $2,500, which, to be honest, $2,500 is a lot of money. So also, I would say get anywhere from like 3 to 5 quotes before you decide on which one to get. For some reason, different agents and agencies have different prices. Like one agency, I think they give us a quote. Each truck was gonna come up to $36,000, and then another one was like $25,000, and then we got one with the same exact like everything was the same. Everything was the same. And then we got one for like $16,000. So I mean, we would have gone with the first one. We would have been paying $36,000 per truck. You know what I mean? So get different ones, and yeah, just make sure $1 million liability, 100K cargo, unlimited miles if you're gonna be traveling OTR. And yeah, also if you're young as well, Progressive is the only company that's able to insure you, so keep that in mind as well. And also get a quote directly with Progressive. That should give you like you can do it online. It's super simple to do as well. And then you need your fillings done, your MCS 90 and your BOC 3. BOC 3 you can just use a blank. I think they're called blanking. I forgot what they're called, but BOC 3 you can do it online for like $25 to get that done same day. MCS 90 they do it, and then there's another one called, I think it's MCS 91, something like that. But just ask them to do it and make sure they do. And for you to get active, it takes anywhere from like 7 to 14 days as well. So it's another takes a little longer as well. Next, you're gonna need a factoring company before you start. I do not recommend you to use RTS. We've had bad experience with them. I told them about the non-recourse before I signed the contract. They added it and they were telling us that we don't have it. Their agents lied to me. I don't recommend them. What I do recommend is OTR, because you can always negotiate your percentage lower once you start getting more trucks. So say for instance you're within like a couple months you end up getting another truck and trailer, you can always negotiate your percentage down. So that's one big plus. I know we got a percentage super low when we had a lot of trucks, so recommend OTR for sure. And then you can start working as soon as you're active. Well, as soon as you receive your letter of authority, which can be anywhere from like 7 to 14 days as well. Once you get that, you should be good. Well, that means you're active and you should be good. So, and then you can check your status when you're active on the FMCSA Snapshot. One load board that you are going to need 1,000% is truck stop. So get that. Try to sign up with brokers beforehand. Ask for carrier packets so you can be ready once you start. Get an ELD, electronic logging device. One that I do recommend is Geotab, or from T-Mobile, or Motive. Those are really good. We've had both. The only thing about Motive is they lock you in for a contract, so that's kind of bad. T-Mobile is similar. Well, not really, because you can get the ELDs really cheap there. They're cheaper than Motive, and I think you pay less per month. They're a small little thing. I don't have one with me right now, but I would recommend either one. They're pretty good as well. And then as well, your first month is going to be super hard. What some people do is they pay like 2 or 3 months ahead. So whenever they're on the third month, the 90 days, it's easier to sign up with brokers and get loads. So something to keep in mind. That's what I'm saying. You're going to want that 10 to 15,000, because I mean, if you're not working for 2 or 3 months and you're still paying your insurance, and say your insurance is $2,000, I mean, that's $6,000 down the drain. You know what I mean? Not down the drain, but that you're going to need in order to pay. Because I'm not going to lie, your first month's going to be super, super tough. Like, you might just break even. So, keep that in mind. And then, as well, some tips I would say is try getting a level 1 inspection, because a lot of brokers are not going to work with you if you have 0 inspections. And that's a fact. So, you're going to want to make sure you stop at the weigh stations, try to get inspected and stuff like that. And make sure you're passing your inspections as well. So, you want to do your pre-trip checks. You can check on YouTube exactly what you need and what the officers do for the level 1, level 2, and level 3. Try to make sure everything's good. Try to make sure your load securement is good. Try to make sure your ELD, your logs are good. You have all the paperwork you need on your truck needed. So that would be like your insurance, your BOC, no, not your BOC 3, so it's another paper. Your letter of authority, and other paperwork that you need as well. So keep that in mind and make sure everything's neat. They look at that as well. And make sure everything's working on your truck too. Like, if your brakes are worn out from your truck or trailer, they're going to put you out of service. If one of your lights is out, you're going to get put out of service. So keep that in mind, because those are like, I would say like stupid mistakes, because you can fix them pretty easily. So make sure that is fixed. And that should be pretty much everything. I mean, that's kind of a quick run on everything you need to know in order for you to start. Definitely have at least 10 to 15,000 saved up for you, for your business. Because if you don't have that money and you're only relying on the money of the loads you're getting, it's like if something bad happens, you won't be ready. You know what I mean? And you don't want to ask people for money. So have that in mind before you start. Even if it takes you a little longer, I mean, just have that money saved up. Like, it's like, trust me, that is gonna save you from bad months and stuff like that. So eventually you start becoming profitable, making money, connections, stuff like that. So have at least 10,000, I would say, and I think if you do everything correctly, you should be good. There's no reason why you shouldn't make money. First hardest ones are the first 3, but after that, you should be good. So, any questions? Just let me know. We've generated over 6 figures with our business, so a month. So I know what I'm talking about. And if y'all need help with anything, let me know.